That is James Mennie, and he is over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, I guess we can start by talking about your first line here. This is now. I refer to that Angus Reid poll asking Canadians about separation. That one.
Absolutely.
Okay. And the deal here is, believe it or not, people surveyed think there's a greater inevitability to Alberta separating than Quebec. Well. How times have changed.
No. But wait a second. This
Yes.
is no. This is a season, right? All the pollsters go out. Are you proud to be Canadian? And you say, oh, it's more than last year, and we all know that much of that pride. And I say this with all due respect to my fellow citizens, much of that pride is simply based on not being American. And boy, oh boy, has that ever amplified over the past few years. Okay. But the fact is, here's Angus Reid going out there, and they're talking about sovereignty in Alberta and sovereignty in Quebec, and we're discovering that it's about 15% that in Alberta think it's inevitable. It's absolutely inevitable that it's going to happen in Alberta. In Quebec, where we've been putting up with this stuff for half a century, 5%. And I got to tell you, it's little things like that. It's the little things, Aaron, the details, that are probably going to push Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, head of the PQ, into a corner one day where he's going to quietly be crying tears of blood saying, why did I paint myself into this corner? Because it is a corner. It doesn't matter who's on his slate. It doesn't matter who he's got behind him. And I'll be the first to say there's some really good MNAs, sitting MNAs, PQ MNAs, who are effective public servants. But this idea of forging this absolutely 100% kryptonite collar and putting it around your neck and saying, okay, you know what, this is our anybody. Yes, even Charles Milliard can have a field day with this, Aaron. And it's inevitable that it will happen over the course of the campaign. But the question, of course, is how is it going to break? Who is going to benefit from it? That remains to be seen. We know it doesn't work. We know it can't be explained. We know it can't be excused. Okay? And I think moment donné, the closer we get to voting day, even the pom-pom waving cheerleaders over at Quebec are going to say, okay, minute, it's time we start talking about something else. So, I mean, and then we'll see how it goes. But man, oh man, when I see numbers like that, I have to tell you, I laugh out loud, even though, as I say, there's probably a lot of separatists who are looking at that and going, bon, mon, je sais plus.
To your point, though, Jim, you do have to wonder, and obviously there's not going to be that change where for Paul St. Pierre Plamondon at some point, you're confronted with polls, you see the numbers, you see reactions like this, but you're the guy, and this is what you have left to sell and pretty much nothing else.
But you painted yourself out. I can't believe this, Aaron. Okay? How many PQ leaders have you and I covered, just you and I, in the past 15 years? Never mind the past 50 years. How many have tap danced around, Quebec, blah, 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 blah. But they always tap dance around it because they realize it ain't going to happen, brother. And here's this guy who says, no, I am going, and you can say, hey, listen, give this guy a merit badge for being honest. Give this guy a merit badge for being, a very straight shooter. But the fact of the matter is, he has essentially got up on his horse, wheeled it around, thrown his gloved hand forward, and said, forward ho! And the problem is, the sign says oblivion. And that's where he's going.
Yeah. I don't know. You have to wonder, Jim, I don't want to get off the point necessarily, but, come the debates, right? Where we talk about the fact, and you brought this up on numerous occasions, where we're going to talk about bread and butter, the thing that really Quebecers are concerned about, right? The last one, of course, would be separation. So what do you do when you're Paul St. Pierre Plamondon in a debate? Right? If your whole ideology here is based around a separate country, what are you going to
listen? I'm not here to give advice to any candidate, but I got to tell you, if I was Paul St. Pierre Plamondon, I would have every single advisor, every single specialist telling me what I say, when every single one of my opponents will say, what does it exactly say about affordability in your blue book? Yeah. What does it say about affordable housing in your blue book? What does it say about inflation in your blue book? I didn't see that. I saw this theoretical airy theory kind of, we'll share currency and blah, 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 blah. We've been there. We've done that. Are you running in 2026 or are you running in 1986? So that's what I prefer, Paul St. Pierre Plamondon.
Meanwhile, Quebec Solidaire, love your headline, says apparently their main political objective seems to have as few people as possible vote for them. What'd they do?
Well, no, I mean, it's being recycled today. It was originally reported by La Presse last month, but the fact is they're saying, if you dare to enjoy any kind of a capital gains, if you sell a property, okay, right now you have to pay, you're taxed on half of that. If you make 200 large, you get taxed on 100. No. À Quebec solidaire gouvernement, là, 100%, all of your capital gains, you have to pay 100, you have to pay taxes on it.
Wow.
There's no breaks. And it doesn't matter, Aaron, if you are a soi-disant small property owner, okay? You're still the same kind of mustache-twirling evil landlord that we are out to get. So that's the thing. I mean, remember the orange taxes that just blew these guys from here to Mars back in the last election campaign? Right? Because they said, no. You have $1 million in assets. You're rich. We're going to tax your brains out. And it turns out that, there's a lot of people who work in the agriculture sector. So between their machinery, between their investments, between their properties, it's $1 million. And, with all due respect, and I say this is all because I love this guy, but our dear friend, David Hurtel, was actually discussing this topic about the famous orange taxes that were raised by it. And he goes, I hate to say, I feel odd saying it, but in this day and age, $1 million is not the same as it was even 10 years ago. It's money, but it isn't the same big ocean of money that you thought it was 10 years ago. And that's for real. We have listeners out there, I'm sure, who between, whatever their holdings are, their assets, if they add it all up together, it's probably going to be close to $1 million, maybe $1 million. But you know what? They're not their name isn't Jed Clamping. You know what I'm saying there, Aaron?
Yeah.
They're not living large, okay? And between taxation and whatever, it's like it goes crazy. But here is Quebec Solidaire. Really created over the Maple Spring, my God, help us, 14 years ago, based on nothing more than the anger of a lot of young people who I guess are now business people and landlords. And they just turned into this kind of, we're against everything. If you make money, how dare you make money? We don't want that in Quebec. C'est pas comme ça qu'on vit au Québec, mon Dieu. We're going to tax your brains out. So, good luck with that. And there's another podium I'm looking forward to hearing from during the leaders' debate.
It's not that they don't, you can't have the money. They just want all that money, Jim. There's a difference, right? You can make it. Just give it all to them.
How dare you make money? How dare you? How dare you realize any kind of profit on anything whatsoever, you greedhead?
It's the Zoran Mamdani wing of Quebec Solidaire. I'm not sure.
Excuse me. That guy is, I got to tell you, that guy is a fiscal conservative compared to these. But this is the thing. I call it NDP syndrome. When you know that there is a 1 in 85 trillion chance that you're going to form the government, you can do or say whatever the hell you want. Try and hang on to your base.
Fair enough. All right. Jim, beyond that, I just wanted to ask you, not on our list today. So, Brendan Gallagher is gone. He was traded to the Vancouver Canucks. And I said earlier, we were talking about this, I said, I kind of feel bad.
Why is that?
Just because he was here for 14 years, the heart and soul of a team. I think he got short shrift in the playoffs, not getting to play, but apparently I'm the only one who thinks that. Is that the idea?
Did he call to say goodbye?
No, he didn't, but he was made an honorary Montrealer last week, Jim, and now he's gone.
I know, and I was trying to figure out if the mayor actually was able to ding him for welcome tax before they got rid of him.
Yeah, I know.
But apparently not. So you know what? No, fine, Aaron, you didn't fall off the back of the turnip truck yesterday. You know how professional sports works. And what are we supposed to do? Name a park after him? Are we supposed to name a building? Okay. Listen, buddy, okay? Here's the thing, okay? I'll leave it there. When they name something appropriate after Oscar Peterson, then we can get to the Brendan Gallagher file. How's that?
I wasn't suggesting, Jim, that they name anything. I'm just saying I'm going to miss him because I think he showed a lot of heart. He was a spunky kind of guy, as opposed to the flashy guys on the team. Yeah. I think that's something you miss here, but apparently I'm the only one.
Spunky guy? Well, listen, you mean a spunky guy like, I don't know, PJ? Like that? Because you know what? He got traded too. So maybe spunky's not the way to go.
Did you call him PJ?
Did I?
Did you call him PJ?
I probably. It's been a long day, brother. DK, whatever.
PK,
I know
okay.
I know he came up with the $10 million. Okay, I know he came up with that for the children. So you know what? Yeah. Let's just everybody take a deep breath.
We wish him well.
We'll leave it there.
We wish him well.
Absolutely.
All right, Jim. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow.
Demain.
Listen. and you're there for heart-wrenching knockouts,
the world's biggest stage,
and breathtaking triumph. 2026 FIFA World Cup, the knockout stage. Every match, every moment. Listen on TSN Radio. Join the Globe on the road to the July 19th final. 2026 FIFA World Cup. Stream it all live on TSN Radio. Available on iHeartRadio.